Good evening, friends. Last year, I was granted an Australian PR, and I traveled with my family to Australia last year. And we'll be probably moving to Adelaide in a couple of months from now. And one question that I've been asked quite often, for which I'm making this video, is that the importance of using an attorney or an agent in the whole PR journey. So let me show you how I rate it. Okay, so there are two parts of this journey. One is the R&D part, that's how I classify it. And then there is an application part. Okay, so the R&D part has to do with what job category you will be applying for. Like it's in skilled migration scheme, so of course what job category will be feasible for your PR. Okay, and then how many points are you eligible, how many points are you making with your current category, and do you need a state sponsorship maybe to get those extra 5 or 10 points. State sponsorship, what states would be good to apply for your profile. And then last but not the least, costing. How much will it cost you, and when it will cost you. When it will cost you. Will it cost you upfront, or will it cost you at the end of the application? So these are the questions that we need to check out before we can move to the application process. So in this R&D part, the agents, the attorneys are very good at. And I would actually, I would suggest people going to them to get these answers right, even if you have to pay a small fee, or most of them, I think they do a free assessment as well. But even if you have to pay a $50 or $100 to get these answers, specifically these answers for you right, I think you should go for it. And that will save you a lot of headache. Now moving forward from here, when you go for application process, when you go, maybe depending on your job, you go to maybe Australian Computer Society, or maybe you go to Vitasis for, I have horrible spellings, Vitasis or ACS or other bodies, depending on your job, to assess your equivalency of your credentials in Australia. This process, and then there is of course an IELTS or a PTE test that has to be given, this component. And then you have to write your EOI. You have to apply for EOI, and then there's a waiting period. And once you get selected, your EOI gets selected, then you have to go to the ME account and actually apply for your visa. And then you have to wait, give your medicals, and then you are actually granted. So this is the whole journey. But so coming back to the topic, that agents, of course, they are very much useful in this R&D area, but when you come to the application area, I don't think so they are very much useful. Because if you see this part, both of them have to be done by you. These, of course, application could be done by them, but then collecting those documents, collecting your degrees, your transcripts, your experience certificates, all that headache has to be done by you. They are not going to do it for you. Even the attestation part, if it would be required, they'll not do it for you. And then IELTS and PT part, of course, you have to go and study and get the scores that are needed. So of course, no, they will not even help you here. For EOI, of course, they can and they must do your EOIs, but I mean, they'll take the information from you in the first place. So it's like adding another hop. Like it's you sitting here, and then there is an agent in the middle. You give the information to this agent, and then he goes and posts your EY. I think it complicates it, and it adds an extra unnecessary hop in between. You don't need this. And for this as well, it's fairly simple. You can also upload. This is like, once you get the documents, the Vitasis document or ACS document, for that matter, your assessment documents and your PT, if you have these things, and your experience certificates attested and your degrees attested, I think you just have to write and upload the documents here. I think you don't need an agent. Absolutely don't need it in this area. So think about it. Apart from this, all you need is super motivation, because this is an exhaustive process. It's a straightforward process, correct, right, but it's an exhaustive process, especially two parts of it: getting the documentation and doing your IELTS or PT. That takes a toll on you, because tries to twist your life. Now you're going to work, you are doing your thing, and then in the middle of somewhere you have to go back to school, you have to sit down, study, and then give the test, wait for the result, then again give the test and wait for the result, and stuff like that. And of course getting documentation, talking to ex-employers. Some of them have maybe, some of your contacts have moved out of that company, or this company has shut down. You have to get your documents somehow. So this is an exhaustive process. And by the way, an agent will not do it for you. You have to go get those documents, and you have to write the PT, and you have to do the IELTS. So I would say motivation. When you decide, you have that thing in your head that no, there's a deadline and you have to get this thing done. You will continue doing it until you get the scores that you need. You will continue pushing it until you get the results that you like. If you're that motivated, of course you don't need an agent. And if you're not that motivated, I think even an agent cannot push you to get the documents or get the PT score or get the IELTS score. So don't bother with them. I would say first get your act right, understand that you really want to do it, talk to yourself, talk to your spouse, talk to your family, and once you have made up your mind, just push it through, and you will be comfortably getting your PR in 8 months, 6 months, something like that. Okay, good luck.